We quickly move on to the last session before lunch. And the session is presented by Cloud4C. Topic is from ambition to execution, building the next gen enterprise with secure intelligent cloud platforms. And the session will be presented by Mr. Arindam Mukherjee, President Sales of Cloud4C India. Mr. Mukherjee, please.
Lunch was announced almost like half an hour ago, and we are continuing with the session, and I appreciate your patience and thanks organizers for inviting us. I'll be really quick. Trust me, I'll be really quick so that 15 minutes gets well utilized for you to get to know us and for us to communicate to you what you do for the industry.
Sorry for the confusion, Mr. Mukherjee. The lunch was not announced by the organizer. It was probably by the virtue of the discourse. One of the speakers mentioned that enjoy your lunch after this session. So,
yeah,
that was
so
not
I
from
was
the
just holding on to their attention. Thank you so much for clarifying. So there are three pieces I'm going to be talking about. The first thing is that what you do, who are we as a company. Second is my interaction with most of the CIOs and CXOs and the CDOs. What are the key challenges that they're facing? And the third and last thing, what are we doing about it? Okay, very short and crisp. Yep. So as a company, if you can see, I am sure that you have heard about Control-S, right? They're the data center hosting, co-location provider. Most of the hyperscalers are hosted with Control-S. They're on the private cloud, etc. On the left-hand side, what you can see is something that possibly you have not seen. So you have a solar company which powers most of our data centers. We have a data center consulting company, Schnabel, and we also have a telecom company called Pioneer Online. The exciting piece is on the Cloud4C on the right-hand side. We're a global cloud services company, and I'll talk about what is our physical presence across the globe. But what is most interesting is that we are pivoting our business around the AI and the adoption of the general purpose units, graphical processing unit as a foundation to doing business on the ground. Very quickly, couple of things that you need to understand on the left-hand side. Possibly, outside of AWS, Azure, GCP, and Oracle, we are the largest sovereign cloud provider in the country. Okay, and I'll talk about it, that what our cloud can do in terms of providing value to your bucks. Second thing is that we are the largest SAP premium supplier. So those of you, you know that SAP RISE is the only way for you to adopt SAP. We are the only fourth RISE partner for SAP in the country and worldwide as well. We are also an end-to-end AI service provider, and I'll talk a little bit more about the platform and other parts, and we are also a managed security services provider. These are the different countries in which we are present, almost 32 plus countries in 60 odd locations. So you can understand that as a cloud services company, though you deliver out of Hyderabad, but our presence is across these different countries. We go in country and we obviously expand through our SAP business and then to the non-SAP business. Coming quickly to the possible discussions that I have done with many of you in the room and outside as well, is that what are the key challenges that you are facing, right? Everywhere you see that the business model is getting disrupted. Board is giving you the mandate that you need to use AI. You have done a couple of contracts with the hyperscalers 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years back, which is very cost prohibitive at this point of time, and your IT expense is going up, right? Does this ring a bell to all of you, right? So all of you, right? Now what happens is that in the middle of all of these, there are three specific things that I came across, all of you talking as to what we as a company must do for you. The number one is that the re-platformization, and I'll talk a little bit more about it. And when I say re-platformization, I'll go across the general purpose compute and the AI compute. And the second part is more about leveraging security as a means to differentiate in this AI-centric world. And if I really try to do a justice to each of the topics, possibly a couple of days will go. So I'll try to really rush past in getting you across what I'm talking. So the sovereign cloud that I mentioned, and I'm very pleased to announce today that it actually does almost all of the functionalities that you can think of, right? So be it running container as a service, be it running database PaaS services, be it running object storage, autoscale, per hour billing, pretty much what you can look at in hyperscaler. Our sovereign clouds do that. And there are hundreds of customers who are running on this platform, all right? In terms of in terms of re-platformization effect, just so that you understand, I'm not mentioning one particular hypervisor here, but you can make a note of it, what I really want to say. But what I'm trying to say is that if you have built your virtualization journey on the premises of a particular virtualization software, and because they have been acquired by another MNC, you guys are going through a tremendous amount of degrees of their licensing and other pieces, right? Now, Azure will come and tell you that take the workload to Azure VMware service, or AWS will say VMC and blah, blah, blah. What we said is that when it comes to the choice of the virtualization from the SUSE to Zen to KVM to all of these options, we will help you to get across your existing VMware estate to a platform of choice. And guess what? Many of the times in that discussion, what you come across is that what you're saying is that, you know what, I need my applications to be rewritten so that it is no more VM based. So we play a role around that. So starting with the hypervisor, right down to the database, right down to the operating system, we actually go piece it by and go and create a new virtualized architecture for you. And that is exactly what you're doing for our own cloud. Our own cloud is to run on virtual machines by VMware, and it is today running on completely open source on SUSE KVM, as an example. Our SAP used to run on VMware, and that is today running on SUSE K8. So the point I'm making is that, Zen hypervisor for Biometrics. The point I'm making is that enterprises today are stuck on the both sides, both ends. You either have gone and done a couple of contracts with the hyperscalers, which are cost prohibitive because you assume certain cost. You also assume certain amount of drivers for those conversations to happen. And today, after 6-7 years where AI is automating many of the things, you feel that you are trapped. That is one. Second is that the way you build your enterprise architecture within the premises, we as a global cloud service provider understand the pure nuggets of making this open source. Both these two things come up in terms of building a world-class cloud infrastructure. It's a quick one. I said that we are possibly the largest sovereign cloud player, and I'm really running past. Another 5-6 minutes I'll close, just bear with me. This is our only VMware customers. Sorry, it is only our SAP customers. Imagine the scale. Total about 700 plus customers. You're running almost 21,000 VMs. You're running about 59 cloud pods and guaranteeing a 4.65 CSAT. You know what? SAP's own grow plot doesn't give more than 4.5 as a customer sat. Now this is for 700 customers, and we ran about 4,800 customers globally. So you can imagine, you can multiply this in terms of the total number of virtual machines that we handle, total number of container instances what you run on our cloud platform. And that is on the strength of which I said that we are possibly the biggest sovereign cloud platform outside the global hyperscalers. Let me quickly move to the AI platform, and I'll be really quick because I'm sure that all of you in your office conversations with the hyperscalers have come across about the way the next big thing is the generative AI and the platform. Because we are a data center infrastructure company from the control S, what we said, we got to disrupt that by ourselves. So built our own GPU cloud infrastructure pod, and to give you an example, we are working with Government of India AI mission. We are one of the shortlisted vendor. So we are working with these companies like Hanuman.ai, Sarvam, I don't know how many of you really track, who are building the India stack, the India specific large language models. There are hundreds of GPUs, and there are different kind of clusters which you're doing. But in the enterprise, what you've created at a very high level, not getting into so much of technology, we have created something called Accelerated Cloud Platform. So the VMware world of your enterprises, you understand that you go and configure a virtual machines. So what you have done in Accelerated Cloud Platform, you can actually go and provision a GPU, bare metal, right? You need a full GPU. You need one full pod, which has got about 8 number of GPUs. You need virtualize, or you need a cluster, which is 1+1 or many. To give an example, for one of the particular workload, we are working with a company for 125 cluster, which is like 1,000 GPUs. And just so that you understand the scale in which it can scale, Elon Musk X.AI is 40,000 GPUs cluster that they're building for the kind of workloads that they're going to load. So Accelerated Cloud Platform is through which you can either configure a bare metal, a virtualized, a container-specific AI endpoint. So imagine a situation that you are writing some codes on PyTorch or Jupyter notebooks. You get a direct access to an API endpoint, and the GPUs get provisioned bare metal or on virtualized or on a container basis below that. You also do an orchestration provider around that. A few of the things at a very high level, we work with NVIDIA, we work with Intel, we work with AMD, we work with Cerebrus. Possibly, according to my personal opinion, Cerebrus is way more denser in terms of the parallel application flow. On the high performance computing, we work with Scrum. Those of you who really track on the high performance computing front gear, we work with Scrum. On the Kubernetes, we work obviously. On the high performance storage, I don't know how many track like Veka or Vast Data. They are the real high performance east to west traffic storage switches. We work with them. And we work with RDMA networking, that is a Rocky over Ethernet versus typical, InfiniBand, kind of a structure. So the point I'm making is that we build this accelerated cloud platform irrespective of the chipsets in which you are building your model. And on top of it, if I move to the next one, you can see here that you can get model from Anthropic or from Hugging Face or say your own ChatGPT or Llama or Cloud, whichever model you are comfortable. Our custom engineering coders are being able to build the models, drop it as an API endpoint, and then build a self-healing network on GPU. Now guess what? We try to create this entire architecture completely open. So if you say that, Arindam, I wanted to do it on Azure. By the way, as I am summarizing, I'll talk about one or two case studies. They are on many of the hyperscalers. So it is a cloud agnostic from the infrastructure standpoint. This is the AI as a service. Let me quickly move. This is a quick one on the security, just so that you understand that all of the security vendors come and talk to you, right? Like your endpoint detection, like your VAPT, like your privileged access management, hardening, right? The network behavior analysis, SIEM, SOAR. If you forget this entire slide on the left-hand side, just focus on the right hand, these four. And I'll just take 1 minute to explain to you what you do here on the right-hand side. And this is fairly profound because today your workloads are dancing on premises, different clouds, sometimes on cloud providers like us as well. So it's fairly distributed. So what we do in the quality team, the one that you can see here, we actually have got an expert who is basically scanning through most of the regulatory guidelines in the respective countries, right? In case of India, like a SEBI or an RBI, it is also going and scanning through most of the latest threats which is happening and giving continuous recommendation to one of the engine, which is on top of it, which is MyShift. It is like a typical ITSM. But guess what you have done in case of ITSM? We have custom coded SOPs and converted that as a bot. So it's like that. If there is a false alarm, it will reject. If it is a correct alarm, it will look for the SOPs and assign a bot. If it is outside that, it pushes a layer up, which is called Neutrino. And that is built grounds up on our GPU platform that I earlier talked about. Neutrino is an AI-enabled agentic chat interface where our service engineers go and query any kind of problems. Why it is possible, you know what? Because Control as a company is in existence for the last 18 years. So put together about 20 to 22 million tickets are there with us in terms of the different service engineer fixing different problems, correct? So in case of a priority one ticket, we actually record a service engineer desktop also. What we did, we put all of these data, about 22 odd million tickets, the different kind of nuances around that onto something which is a data lake, open source data lake. And we connected our different disparate systems, which is like an observability, which is ITSM, as you can see, billing, then order processing, observability, Zabbix and all. And then we started building a model on Llama. So guess what happens? What do you do in ChatGPT that tell me a nice story about Swiss Alps, and it throws you an essay and you say, no, I'm not happy. Please summarize it in 3 words. And it gives you and then you say, no, I want to imagine that I am planning a vacation in after 15 days. Look at the weather and give me the best places that I want to go. So the service engine actually queries that. It actually queries that and says that what is the best way that I can solve this problem, and it throws up the agentic interface. And on top of it is something which you call shop. So what the point I'm making here is that from the quality team to the MyShift to the Neutrino to the shop, which is an uniform portal through which you can govern all of these things, all of these threat intels coming. So SIEM, which is your enterprise's bedrock for most of the alerts, get to be automated through this way. And this is 100% remote managed and remote controlled, and a ready-made service for all of the enterprises, irrespective of the feeds that you have. I'll quickly, these are the different vendors that we work with, pretty much the name that you can think of. I'll quickly move in the last 1 minute and summarize a couple of the case studies in Pine Labs. I'm sure those who have gone to Chroma, you have seen the POS machines where you do the transactions. So their entire contact center, most of the things like the roles khatam ho gaya, what is the balance? So typical questions, about 22,000 questions we have analyzed, and we created the bot for them. It is being rolled out. There are 22 use cases. One use case is in production, automating the L1 and L2 support for all of the merchant aggregation. We are doing that for them. This is built on Azure, on OpenAI. Actually, when we started working on this, the OpenAI API was not GA, but we started and modifying, and we actually gave a lot of recommendation to them. Just one example, in case of Adani, we actually manage their entire GCP infrastructure. We built a data lake for them, and along with PwC, build the entire custom logic and productionize that. This is on GCP. This is Jindal Stainless. This is where we built the entire data platform on Microsoft Azure. Navit, I don't know how many of you heard about it. This is under the Ministry of Infrastructure. This is the latest incubation by the Government of India for infrastructure funding. And we run there almost all of the application, including the data lake, early warning signal, core lending, everything is done by Cloud4C. Last one, I'll talk about Bank of India. In Bank of India, I've done a super app for them along with IBM. And this is like 0 RPO, I think 4 hours RTO, and running OpenShift on containers over there, on their premises, everything that we deployed. And the last one is what I want to talk and end the presentation is that if you really look at this SATS, those of you who have taken an Air India or Vistara flight, you've seen that food catering service, right? SATS, which kind of gets your food inside. So they are Singapore Airline Terminal Service, SATS, okay? And they basically, not only for airline, but for bus, railway tickets across Southeast Asia. And they were running on Azure, and they were looking for an SIEM solution, what we recommended, Sentinel. But they were looking for a very strong SOAR capability, automation and remediation. And they were working with us to choose Google's Mandiant. And we connected these two things to build a complete real-time framework. So imagine a situation that in Frankfurt, in one of the airline terminals, some virus or some kind of a threat attack happens. Real-time on global basis through Mandiant, it gets to be pushed to through Sentinel into all of the terminals. And in few cases, in case of SATS, because it is very remote places in Malaysia, Vietnam and all, there's sometimes no connectivity also. So it's an unbelievable kind of a success story where we're pitted against the Big Four. In fact, all of the security thing I'm talking about were against the Big Four. I think Ernst & Young was the last one between us and them, and we eventually won that. So the point I'm making is that these are the few of the success stories and customers. The point I'm making is that if you really look at most of these things, the fundamental thing that I'm talking about, that we are completely cloud agnostic when it comes to building use cases and use case specific services, and that cuts across infrastructure, security, and artificial intelligence. And what I said is that when it came to the AI, our founder's vision is that we'll build an AI as a product, which is something that we are going to consume first. And that's where the Neutrino product that I spoke a bit earlier, which basically built this entire agentic framework within us, is a ready-made deployable product on Azure and AWS. And to give an example, you can bring your own data sets, you can get your system APIs, and it starts connecting the pieces. Obviously, you need to build a data platform before that. You need to get the ingestion, you need to get the storage, you need to massage it out, create the golden copy, and then push it out. But a lot of first-party work we are doing. Because if you go to any customers, they are talking that I'm doing some POC, I'm doing some chatbots. Here we are working on real use cases on production and deployment on either our infrastructure or on different hyperscalers of choice. I hope I'm making sense. And in the security also, I went a little bit technical, but trust me, this is really, really differentiator when it comes to solving a problem of yours. So that is our customer base that you can see. Look forward to partnering with you. There's a great amount of franchisee that we're building. Kalol, if you can quickly come up to the stage. So I head the Cloud4C business in India and South Asia. Kalol is a regional CEO for us in East. He's a seasoned campaigner here. He has worked in many companies earlier in Cisco, IBM, and Tatacom, and he's building his own team. And please engage with us. We are building a very, very vibrant and exciting team. We're coming out with our new data centers in East also in Kolkata. We recently opened in Bhubaneswar. So across the group, we're really building a thriving franchisee for Eastern region market to kind of get to use our capability. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mukherjee. Kindly stay back. May I request Mr. Kallankar and Mr. Sanjoy Sen. Mr. Kallankar is a member of our IT committee, and Mr. Sanjoy Sen is a former co-chairperson of the IT committee, to please come up to the dais and do the honors to Mr. Mukherjee.